Howdy and welcome to a new video. Remember when I mentioned in the last video that the next one will be about merch? Well, this is the video. I've been planning to do this for months, but I just didn't have the time to actually make it happen. I've been pretty busy overall, so if I was going to try making merch, it had to be something small, nothing too complicated. Honestly, I thought it would be easy, but a lot of things happened along the way. Do you remember my first experience making pins? Well, the exact same thing happened again, but this time with more merch. As a first experience, though, it was fine. The goal of this merch batch wasn't to sell at a convention, but rather to make gifts. I was basically practicing how to work with print shops and had products made, pins, prints, keychains. It was my first real introduction to the whole process. I even got myself a laminator to keep the prints and nicer finish, but well, things happened. I'll talk about all of that when we get to that part of the video. But overall it was a good experience, but the next time I definitely want to be better prepared. And speaking of that, after making my first batch of merch, I realized something important. I didn't have a clear idea when it came to creating products. I learned a lot, but I knew that if I wanted to make a second try, I needed to approach it with a better planning and a stronger understanding. That's why I wanted to find a better starting point. Skillshare is a platform where experienced creators and professionals share their knowledge, making it easy to learn new skills and dive deeper into your creative interests. While exploring different classes on Skillshare, I found one that caught my attention: Illustrate for Merchandise. Transform your artwork into products by Alicia Souza. The class focuses on how to turn your art into real products, from the initial idea all the way to the manufacturing, pricing, shipping, and marketing. One thing I found especially useful was learning how to design specifically for a product instead of simply adapting an illustration. The class also covered writing samples, planning future products, building excitement around your work, and understanding how different products, from mugs and shirts to bags and stationery, require different approaches. It was really helpful to see the entire process explained by someone with years of experience creating and selling merch. And they have amazing news for you. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Back to the topic, I didn't exactly record this part of the process, but I had to create an A3 sticker sheet template in Illustrator to send to the print shop. I struggled quite a bit because I had absolutely no idea how to do it. In the end, though, I managed to organize the file into 2 layers, one for the art and another for the cut lines. I was running out of time, so I only managed to do this with an whole GB of UME. It was not only simple and cute, but also a little silly, in the best possible way. So I adjusted it a bit and then imported it into Illustrator to build the template. I also used that opportunity to prepare the files for the prints, pins, keychains, and everything else. On top of that, I bought myself a machine for making smaller pins, which means I can now offer a wider variety of designs and sizes. I worked on a lot of things, so let's move on to what we're really here today. With everything printed, I could finally start assembling the merch and my inevitable descent into madness. Actually, I organized the order in which I made everything based on what I thought would be easier or harder. Or, to put in another way, from less stressful to most stressful. Anyway, let's start with the keychains. I print 2 copies of each design, the same thing I did for both the large and small pins, and then I started cutting them out. The designs I chose were Yumi, Blizzard Sticker, and Fluttershy. I started assembling them, and that's where I made my first mistake. Some of the sizes weren't quite right, and I didn't completely fill the space inside the keychain, or I simply got it wrong. On the other hand, some were slightly too big and prevented the keychain from closing properly, so I had to cut them down. Though, honestly, that was only the beginning of all the things that went wrong during this. I repeated this process for every keychain I made. Overall, they turned out pretty well, but I also added a little extra detail. A teeny star charm. Unfortunately, even though I bought a lot of them, the colors option were pretty limited. But I managed to use the green and light blue for Yumi, pink for Fluttershy, and red for Blizzard Sticker. Isn't that little detail cute? I know it's something simple, but I think it adds a nice touch. Oh, and right in the middle of all this, my portable LED lamp decided it was the perfect time to stop working. So, if you notice the lighting gradually getting worse throughout the rest of the video, that's why, don't worry though. By the time this video goes live, I will probably already bought another light. Also, and I completely forgot to record this part, I add stickers to the front side of the keychains, meaning the side where the character isn't the mirror. I'll make sure to record that process in a future because it adds a lot and helps the keychain stand out much more. A special shout out to the Blizzard Sticker keychain for including teeny cat stickers. And that's how all the keychains turned out. Fortunately, not so many things went wrong during this part. I can't say the same about the next one. I think I can say this is where the downfall begins. I bought holographic film for the 58mm pin covers and I was so excited to use it. I had printed 2 copies of everything for a very simple reason. Pin machines are traitors. Something can go wrong during assembly for almost any reason. The paper might be too small, too large, you may not apply no pressure, which I think it was my main problem for the thing I about to talk about. The plastic cover might decide not to attach to the pin. Anything can happen. And that's pretty much summarize what happened to me. I happily cut everything out, the small pins, the large pins, and when it was finally time to assemble the holographic pins, not a single one worked. Well, that's not entirely true. One worked. One out of the 4 attempts I made. I had specially printed Blizzard Sticker pins to make them holographic. The print quality was perfect. The template was correct. But when I added the holographic cover and applied pressure, nothing happened. Moving on to the smaller pins, surprisingly, almost all of them turned out well, except for maybe 1 or 2, which is normal. I forgot to mention that the designs I chose for these were Hatsune Miku, Yumi, and Fluttershy. And for the big ones were Blizzard Sticker, Sandrone, Yumi, and Chibi, Enora, and Blizzard Sticker. I will always love that pin. That's because I wanted to make an holographic one. It's the only one that survived. And actually, there is another way to make holographic pins. You can simply laminate the printed sheet with holographic laminate. But I didn't have holographic laminating sheets. Actually, at the time, yes, I have one, finally. But returning to the script, Well, a few things happened when I tried laminating the prints, which, now that I think about it, is going to sound incredible stupid when I tell the story. And this is the final part. First of all, I tried making both A4 and A5 prints. That was my first mistake, because some of the illustrations I chose had proportions that made it difficult for them to even fill half of an A5 sheet. So it ended up looking more like postcards. That's definitely something I need to keep in mind for now on, whenever I create illustrations that I plan to turn into prints. That way, they'll fit the paper dimensions better without needing to be crop or stretch. Anyway, with everything printed, I used it as paper cutter to trim the borders of each print. I absolutely love the paperweight I choose for these prints. It's 250 grams paper. I haven't tried the 300 grams yet, but this already feels fantastic and the print quality is beautiful. I love it. Remember when I mentioned laminating the prints? Well, I couldn't. Among all the supplies I bought, I also purchased a made laminating roll, so I wanted to test it out with laminating the prints. That way, they have a practical leisure. Well, I failed. When laminating, it's extremely important that there aren't any excess pieces of laminate sticking out. Otherwise, those low sections can get caught inside the machine and eventually affect its performance. The prints all have different sizes and I probably should have laminated them, but they were still in their original format to make everything easier. And even then, on top of that, it's really hard to cut. So when I tried measuring and getting the amount of laminate I needed, I failed miserably. Not only was the laminate constantly shifting around, but it was also difficult to avoid leaving excess material. As a result, I didn't laminate a single print because I was too scared of ruining my new laminator, even just a little. After doing some research, I discovered that you can use something called a transfer folder. You place both the print and the laminate inside the folder, then run the whole thing through the laminator. This method not only prevents laminate residue from getting into the machine, but it also makes the process much easier because you don't have to measure everything with absolute precision. It even allows some excess laminate around the edge without causing problems. I haven't tried that method yet because I only discovered it afterward. Let's just say the stress got me a little and I tried to cut the laminate with a bit more force. Well, at least I tried to cut the laminate, because I didn't cut the laminate at all. I cut my finger instead. Don't worry, I'm fine. That's actually you'll suddenly notice a bandage on one of my fingers in the next part of the video. And we're back to the type of the iceberg, or maybe more like a calm plane, because this section was definitely the most relaxing one. All I had to do was put everything together for the packages. I bought envelopes in two different sizes, A4 and A5. Besides that, I also bought small plastic bags for items like pins, stickers, and keychains. I really love how everything turned out. And about that, this is how the stickers I sent to the print shop turned out too. I had to cut them one by one. There isn't really much to talk about during this part. Just enjoy watching me assemble each little bag and see how I put together each envelope. 3 in total. I really like that the envelopes have adhesive closures, although adding a sticker with my logo will also be a nice touch. Or maybe even designing a custom stamp to add to each envelope. And that's it. After a lot of work, all the packages were ready. There were plenty of ups and downs and a few issues with some things. Okay, with almost everything. Still, those are all lessons I'll keep in mind so they won't happen again. I hope. I got another button maker to offer more pin sizes, made prints, stickers, keychains. This is just a small step towards something much bigger. And that's all for today. Sorry if I talked a little too much, but this was a process I really wanted to discuss in detail so you could see everything that went into making each product. The things I did, the mistakes I noticed, and some tips that will definitely help me next time as well. Actually, there is one thing we haven't talked about yet, and I think some of you were probably expecting me to mention it when I announced this video. An online shop. As much as I'd love to run my own online shop at international level, I think it will be extremely difficult to handle shipping orders from my country. It will probably end up costing me a lot of money. So, unfortunately, I will have to accept that I won't be able to run an online shop on my own, at least for more countries. But there is another option. This site ACG Goods is probably one of the best opportunities for independent artists. You create your products and the platform takes care of the rest, manufacturing them and shipping them directly to customers. I've been reading about it and I'm considering setting up a store there so my merch can be much more accessible internationally. But obviously I need to know first if you want to actually get merch made by me. I'm still thinking it, but so far it seems like the most accessible option for me. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you in the next video.